My wife is the cookie mom for our Girl Scout cookies. We had told them I'd be at lunch, come drop off the money. So she was going to drop off money. I remember going to answer the door and not being able to really walk that well to the door. Like my balance was all gone. I thought it was like vertigo. I didn't know.
She said, I came to your house and Jerry's like, he's unbalanced and he's throwing up and he's slurring a little bit. And she was like, I just don't know what's going on. I said, okay, his speech is slurred. That sounds like a stroke, but he can't be having a stroke. He's only 35. When I heard him trying to talk, it was, you couldn't understand anything he was saying. And so I called 911.
So when Mr. Wren got to the emergency room, he was unresponsive, unable to breathe on his own, and wasn't moving his arms and legs properly. He had a blood clot in the basilar artery, which is one of the most important arteries that goes to the brain. Over 85% of people who have a basilar artery thrombus die.
They said, we're taking him to Medical City because it's a stroke hospital. This is what they do. The ER, everyone was so good about communicating with us what was going on.
Well, anytime there's damage to the brain, those cells are being lost very quickly. So the faster we're able to recognize symptoms, do the appropriate imaging, the better the outcome. We take pictures of the blood vessels going to the brain in real time and deploy small devices or suction devices to remove the clot from the basilar artery.
Making sure you know what those symptoms are, the facial droopiness, the raising of the arms, one side is affected, the slurring of the speech, and that you need to act quickly. A stroke isn't something that just affects older individuals. That's what you mainly think of.
It was the person who recognized the stroke symptoms or that something was wrong right away. It was his wife who called 911. It was the EMS people who transported them to the emergency room physicians and nurses who recognized this as a problem, and then, of course, the IR staff who got him here on the table and helped us to pull the clot out quickly. For me to come to work every day and see these types of outcomes, I mean, it really makes everything worthwhile.
When he was in ICU, people from the ER were coming up and saying, we wanted to see the Miracle Man. And nurses coming in and saying, we had to see the Miracle Man. We heard about it. We wanted to see the Miracle Man. I told him in the hospital, you're probably the only person that can say Girl Scout cookies saved your life.